Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the all-new 2019 Toyota Avalon. As always, we're going to do a quick walk around on the Avalon, then we're going to take it out to see how it drives. A big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller Toyota here in Murray, Utah for providing us with the Avalon. If you are on the market for new Toyota, check these guys out. And then if you are stopping in for the first time, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. Under the hood here of the Avalon, we have a naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6. That's gonna be good for 301 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque, and that is all routed through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Let's start in this whole area. There's actually a lot going on. So first off, here is the paint. I absolutely love it. It's like a metallic white. Toyota does it right with their paint colors every single time. Super solid on that. And then we can see the LED lights just right here below. And if I press this, you can see the little turn signal indicator that would pop up. You've got a little vent there to the side, and then you've got the whole grille. So most of it's actually closed. So it's just stylistic. You can see that you've got some that's open up right there, but like I said, most of the grille is actually closed, which is kind of funny. And then the Toyota logo also doubles as the sensor for the adaptive cruise control. On the side here, we have these 19-inch black machine finish alloy wheels. I think they look absolutely fantastic. 235mm tires, front and rear. Pretty standard setup on a car nowadays. And then we can see there's kind of like a little panel right there. Looks interesting. And then you've got this little line. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I know it's stylistic, but it's kind of interesting. Now we've got the key fob for the Avalon back here. It's in a bag, but you can see that we've got a couple functions, lock and unlock, and then you've got the tailgate release. Just hold that, and that'll open up the trunk, and you'll see the trunk will actually fully open up. And then we can pop in here. We've got a little mat here that says Avalon. It's rubber. You can fold down the rear seats if you need extra storage. This trunk area is actually massive for a sedan. There's quite a bit of storage space here, but if I lift this up and pull this up, you can see that you've got like a little jack down there, fix a flat kit in this. But yeah, like I said, trunk space more than adequate. So coming out to the back here, this is actually my favorite part. So we actually have this spoiler back here painted in black, looks fantastic. Toyota logo right there. And then you can see the trim level, the XSE, but quad outlet exhaust. I think it looks cool. They've got a kind of fake rear diffuser back here. So yeah, a lot of fake stuff, but it still looks cool, right? And that's kind of all that matters sometimes. But I just love the design of the rear, and then how the light has this like giant like light bar look. That looks cool, and actually says Avalon on it, but full LED lights back here. And yeah, I just want you guys to gaze at the rear end of the Avalon because I think that's its best angle. Now right here, we can come to the back, and this is where the fun begins. So we have a little suede insert right here. We've got leather with some stitching, and then some soft touch up here, window control, and then some storage down there. And then the seats, super interesting. So we've got these little like kind of suede like inserts on the seats, and then we've got some leather. You can see the contrasted stitching, more of those rubber floor mats. And you got some charging stations with some vents. And then if we pull this out, we've got some cup holders with that gloss black trim. Looks good. In terms of legroom back here is plentiful, pretty standard for a larger size sedan. Now we've got keyless entry, so one touch to lock it, and then to unlock it, you just have to put your hand on the back of the door handle, and that'll unlock it. And we can see the paneling for the front look identical to the rear, so more of that suede on the side with the leather. All of your window controls right here, mirror adjustments, door lock and unlock, and then another speaker for the sound system, more storage right there. And then we look at the seats, so full power adjustment on the seats right here. And then the front seats, again with that suede on the center, and then the leather on the outside looks good, and actually is really comfortable, kind of stays more neutral temperature-wise. And then we can see the pedal layout below. I think those pedals are pretty beautiful, actually. And then over here we can see a little gas cap. That's for your tailgate stability control, and then for the lights. And then note that the steering wheel is manually adjustable. Now stepping height's actually really good. It's easy to get in and out of, but if we put our foot in the brake and push the push start, the Avalon will start right up, and you'll hear that 3.5 liter V6 come to life. So right here we have some controls for the cruise control system. You've got your lane departure assistance, and then you've got your collision warning right there, and then this is for your radio setup. Over here, some more radio controls with the volume, voice commands, phone controls, and then that is for the little center stack right there. And then you note that there are paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel to shift that 8-speed automatic if you want, and then your regular light stock with turn signal, and then windshield wiper stock on the other side. And steering wheel's kind of got the leather. It's a little bit grippier there, but smoother on the top. So nice steering wheel design and pretty nice to hold in general. Here's our little center stack. So we've got RPMs on the left side. On the right side, we've got our little speedo. And you can see that little configurable center menu. So you can see that there's a bunch of different little menus that you can actually scroll through on this. Pretty configurable, but overall pretty standard setup for the car industry nowadays. Most manufacturers have something like this in their gauge clusters. So we've got the infotainment all right here. So analog controls on both sides of the infotainment screen. And you can see that you've got a bunch of different buttons here. It also functions as a touch screen, and it's actually pretty responsive touch time on this, but I'm glad that they kind of double up on the analog controls and on the touchscreen controls as well. Really easy unit to use in general. And if we actually pop the Avalon into reverse, we can see the backup camera will pop up, see trajectory lines that'll turn with the steering wheel, and then you actually do have a little bit of different views based on what you want to see with the rear view camera. Now right here we have all of our analog controls for the climate controls. Note that you do get heated seats. It is a dual zone climate here in the Avalon, so they've doubled up with buttons, and they have a separate section for the climate, and then you can see the vents are just above. Kind of fun. Little hazard light right there. And then we've got this kind of like storage area right here that is padded. Now we've got that shifter for the 8-speed automatic. You do have a dual shift mode, so you can shift the gears with this little bump stick, or you can use the paddle shifters, whatever you prefer. Couple cup holders right here, and then we've got the center console, so leather with stitching. And if we open that up, there's a little storage tray on the top, but you can look in here. Got a couple charging stations, decent amount of storage overall in that little storage area. And if we come over here, we can see the glove box. So again, decent amount of storage. You notice it's kind of tiered. So you've got a bottom and lower area for the storage, and above it, we've got some nice soft touch leather with contrasted stitching on it. And then they've got this kind of cool trim. Looks like carbon fiber, but I don't think it is. Up here, we've got our sunroof, so you can just open or close that for the sunroof. You got all of your light controls up here, and then the controls for the sunroof as well, and then all of your sun visors up there. Pretty standard setup in general. I wish it would have been a panoramic option, but this still lets a decent amount of light into the cabin. Wrapping things up on the interior of the Avalon, I actually like this interior in general. And then in terms of price point, this one stickers before any market adjustment for just over $40,000, just to give you guys an idea. And random point, this is not part of the vent, but it looks like it continues. That's kind of cool. Really nice interior. That all being said though, let's take the 2019 Avalon out to see how it drives. Well, let's set off here in the 2019 Avalon, and I think we've gotten to rush hour, so RIP, and also almost out of gas, so double RIP. So initially setting off here in the Avalon, and ride quality is actually really smooth. There's not a whole lot of road noise that comes through in the cabin. This definitely has like a luxury car feel to it. Let's talk about visibility. So you can see visibility over the hood's pretty good. It's easy to see over. You can see visibility both shoulders. It's easy to see through there as well. You can see back there, visibility is solid, and then over there, it's pretty good. So in terms of a sedan, I feel like the visibility is solid in general. And why are these people stopping? Now let's talk about steering here. So you can see steering is very light and effortless with the steering feel. Just kind of goes right where we want it. And notice that there's not really that much play. It's pretty direct with the Avalon. It's not like the most direct, but I mean, you can see how much play there actually is with the steering. I'm just gonna use these little manholes as like reference for how smooth something is. So I'm just gonna like purposefully drive over them so you can kind of see. There we go. But yeah, I mean, you can just see exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it's pretty quiet on the interior, and it doesn't really upset the car at all to go over bumpy things. Now let's get an acceleration with the Avalon in this 3.5 liter V6 to see how it performs. Yeah, so you can see, I mean, acceleration wise, it accelerates more than adequately with this 3.5 liter V6, and not sure why it was beeping at me. But yeah, anyways, performance is actually pretty good. It's a super solid offering, but at the same time, this V6, I feel like it does better in the Camry, and that's because it's a little bit smaller size car. So yeah, I mean, that's just my 2 cents on that. Now to sum things up on the Avalon, what I would say overall, this is kind of in a little bit of a dying breed for car segments. Full-size sedans are just not really in. It's trucks and SUVs right now. However, if you're on the market for a full-size sedan and you want a lot of safety tech that Toyota has to offer, like this one has the blind spot monitoring and the adaptive cruise control and the cross traffic alert and, you know, the lane departure assistance, like it has every bit of safety tech. You want all of that. You don't want to pay the premium for a luxury brand, and you want Toyota reliability. This is definitely a super solid offering. It has more than enough power, and Toyota's finally getting themselves up to building sportier cars. Why does this keep beeping at me? Maybe it's because I like barely went over that line. Anyways, Toyota is finally building sportier cars. They've always looked the part recently, but now they're finally starting to play the part. There we have it, everyone, the all-new 2019 Toyota Avalon. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Again, a big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller Toyota here in Murray, Utah for providing us with the Avalon. If you're on the market for new Toyota, check these guys out. Comment down below what you thought. If you're stopping in for the first time, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe. I'll see all of you in that next video.